Hi, I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for TTN-HD Production Live here at Technicolor Studios in Toronto with James Strecker. James, what inspired you to become an author and to get into the arts?
Oh my God. Okay. I think I acknowledged my obsession. Okay, and it started actually. We were going to Europe in 1969, and I said, well, I'm going to have about 5 months backpacking, so I shall become a poet, you know. And I wrote a lot of bad poetry for a couple of years, and then someone died, someone I loved, and I wrote a poem about that, about him. And I think I had to get real, you know, which is very important, and get honest. Well, you're an actress, you know this. You know, if there's a false move, it shows, you know. So that made me serious, you know, about what I was doing. So let me see. So then, well, now I have about 10 books of poetry. One point I got fed up with publishers who were going bankrupt. You know, you get printed and then your book's in the warehouse and remaindered because they've gone out of business. So I started a publishing house, and then. Being an author, I got a phone call one day from a lady. She said, I was sexually abused as a child. I'd like you to tell my story. I said, I don't have time to tell your story, but I'll help you learn to write. So we did that, and her poetry book has helped a lot of people, actually. What else? Well, just that, okay, in terms of, you do people with film, too. I'm doing a book on creativity. And I've interviewed about 250 people, like in all the arts.
And is there anything in particular that you've found has been a common thread throughout all the people you've interviewed?
Many common threads. If we have 10 hours, we'll do
I guess we'll have to read the book.
10 minutes, no way. Yeah, you can actually come home and help me write the thing, because I'm not sleeping anymore, you know. I got 3 days ago, I'm trying to sleep, you know, and I'm editing and I'm writing constantly that I'm saying I'm going to do it this summer. And so an idea hit me at 4 in the morning. I got up, I write longhand sometimes, and I wrote a page and a half, small print, you know, so that's what's in my mind all the time.
What's the most rewarding part about being an author?
I think, well, I had this, I did a review because I have a blog. James Strecker Reviews the Arts, and I was reviewing a DVD by Tafelmusik, a wonderful Toronto original instrument group, and I wrote this line at the end of it, and I went, huh? And then I sent it to a friend in Nashville, and she went, and where'd that come from, you know? Unfortunately, this was last night, and she said, oh, I'm working on a project, you know. You're writing about something right along the line of what my project is. How about you get on board? So I'm trying to edit my book of poetry, which I'm fighting with it, you know. And so I'm fighting with my book of poetry. I email her, she writes back, and the project's too good not to do. But the creativity book, I interviewed an actor, John Neville. I don't know if you know John? Okay. So I interviewed John, and then one day I dropped into his place in Stratford. I said, you should have a biography. And he said, okay. And we never agreed on it exactly what we're doing, but I did a lot of research. I interviewed Judi Dench and Terry Gilliam, people like that. And so I had all this research done, and then meanwhile I was interviewed about a black jazz singer in Hamilton, about whom I had done a book, and I was interviewed for a film, so I was speaking to the filmmaker. I said, I've got all this research about John Neville. He said, oh, I love John Neville. I said, do you want to do a film about John? He said, great idea. So that happened, and so I was consultant and head researcher.
Here I have 3 books that you have been involved with. Can you tell me a little bit about each of them, starting with Chasing the Muse, Poems on Creators?
Okay, well, I've interviewed about 250 creative people for my book on creativity, and I review, so inevitably I'm going to be going to the poetic route as well. And it just happened. I kept writing. There are a few poems there I collaborate with a composer in the Netherlands. And other things like, oh, who else is in there? Ali Akbar Khan, who's an Indian sarod player, probably my favorite musician. And he died, and I just put on his music and I responded to it, you know. There are a couple songs I've written in there too, you know, so that's one of them.
Very cool. And tell me a bit about Out of Incest and Abuse, A Book of Hope.
That is a hard book. We're doing or we've done, and we're tweaking it now, but a revised edition. This is DIANE ELLA, who was sexually abused by her father when she was 11, and she did phone me up one day and said, you know, I need help. So we spent, I think, about 2 years of espresso and back and forth, you know, working out the poems, that sort of thing. And I was really pleased, you know, I guess you're into mentoring too, but I sent her home. I said, we need a poem about that. And I forget what the subject was. And she went home and she called me up in about 2 hours and she had it, and it was the poem. Okay, so that makes you very happy when you're mentoring, you know, because people, they get it, you know, and that's very good.
Great. And tell me a little bit about this book, Sheridan, The Cutting Edge in Crafts.
This book killed me. There are about, I was working, I'm retired now, but I was working at Sheridan College, School of Crafts and Design, and a lot of major creators like craftspeople came out of the college. And I thought, well, why don't we do a book to celebrate them? So there are about, oh God, 10, 20, there are 40 people featured, but then I interviewed about 100 people as well who were connected to the school in some way. And some of these people have won like major awards, like the Bronfman Award. You know, I think 3 of them or 4 of them, and they're major players actually. So I got them to, with each piece, like there's a photograph of one of their works, and you get the work, you get a critique, and by someone who knows, you know, in the field, and you get a statement. I hate statements, but these are good statements. You know, some of the statements you read in galleries, they drive you kind of nuts because, you know, they're stupid. But these are really probing, you know, and honest. Perfect. That word again.
What advice would you give to someone following in your footsteps?
Oh God. Yeah, these are, like, I'm tormented with a book. I've got, like, this is a really big book on creativity. Okay, learn your craft. You know, if you can't do what you're thinking about, you know, it won't come off, right? And what else? Actually, well, can I say the language on this?
Sure.
Okay, don't bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to be true to yourself, and that takes a lot of work. Sidebar, okay. During the course of writing all these books of poetry and reviewing and editing books, I connected with a depth psychologist in New York, Ira Progoff, and so I kept going to workshops, and one day Ira said, why don't you work for us, you know? So I do workshops in something called the Intensive Journal, and the last one was with a group of actresses, and before that it was with a bunch of social workers who were into mental health.
Great. And where can we find out more information on the workshops?
Well, I think the best thing is to write to me. You know, I'm in flux right now. I'm going to do a lot of stuff online, but you know, as well as books. So all this is up in the air.
Great. Well, thank you so much, James, and best of luck with all of your upcoming projects. And just to recap, can you tell me the URL for your website once again?
My website, well, there's one, James Strecker, which is my website. Okay. You just blog me, or Google me, okay. Blog me. Then James Strecker Reviews the Arts is my blog. And I'm on Facebook, and I think am I Twitter? Yeah, I think I Twitter as well.
Okay, great.
Well, I don't know what else I do. They always ask for your password.
Those passwords, hard to keep track of.
Oh, I hate them. I have a volume that thick of passwords.
Great. Well, thank you so very much, and best of luck with all of your upcoming projects.
One more thing, though, just to throw it back at you, you're an actress, right?
Yes, I am.
And you're doing interviews, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's been really fun. I really enjoy it.
because one thing leads to another, leads to another.
Yeah, hopefully. I guess we'll see.
Oh, can I do one more plug?
Yeah.
Okay, a couple songs. I gave a book of my poems about jazz musicians to a jazz singer, and she said, "Can I record one of your poems?" Then I said, "Well, I could write you more songs." So we're doing that now too. Elizabeth Shepard.
Wonderful.
So.
Great. Well, thank you so much, and best of luck with all of your upcoming projects.
And I'm out of breath.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for TTN-HD Production Live here at Technicolor Studios in downtown Toronto.